Hi, can you hear me? Sorry, I have a new headset and I just want to make sure it sounds alright. I'll lower the music. Just let me know. How's everyone doing? What have y'all been up to? 5 people in the chat, not bad. For being gone, what, almost a year? Alright, cool, thank you. I added you as a moderator. There's some features on StreamYards too that I want to try. Apparently you can add music like to the background, but that's way too much pressure. I know I've been gone some time. Yeah, I know it's been a long time. I remember too. The last time I went live, I was covering WWE news, and I was like, "I'll be back, I promise." 6 months later, my bad, you guys. My bad. Oops. See, I'm totally like lost on this. I hope y'all are doing good. So I figure I'd start off by like chatting with you all, catch up, see how y'all have been. Let me know what have y'all been up to. Just been working a lot, actually. It's kind of crazy. Working at a restaurant is like, I like it because I can stay busy and that makes the time go by fast, but it's also so freaking tiring. Yeah, I heard Tyra's got a new channel. I don't know what else has been going on. I've been in and out of Greg's chat because if it's not work, I live alone, so I gotta take care of stuff at home, and I still have. See, how's it going? So lots changed, huh? I don't know if you want to talk about, you know who. By the way, I'm open to like having a panel. So if, like anybody wants to hit the link, I'll go ahead and leave it here. I'll drop it in the chat because I'd love to chat with like somebody before we get started. I'm basically, I know normally people are probably used to seeing me have a playlist ready and I'll just present it and already know what's going on. But this time around, I think I'm just gonna kind of wing it and just do some updates on the stories that I was covering before I went MIA. Um, but before that, if anybody wants to like hit the panel and just chat with me a little bit, that'd be okay. If not, we could just jump right to it. But I'll be covering the Lori Vallow situation, my Millete, Tristyn Bailey. If I have time, I'll go around and kind of like look to see what else we could talk about. There's been a lot of stuff on the news lately. I don't know if you want to talk about that first. This is not the first time you caught a live, doggone. I'm pretty sure you were here last time. I'll check. But I think you were here when I was covering Jeff Hardy getting arrested and Vince McMahon's scandal. But I'm pretty sure I've seen you in here. I'm going to drop some little hearts. I don't know if y'all can see that, but yeah. All right, so let's see. Conspiracy theories. I just fell back into that. It sucked because YouTube had taken down so much content on the entertainment industry, government, aliens. Pizzagate information is pretty much like all the way gone. You really gotta like try to find it. A friend of mine at work started telling me about Britney Spears. I don't know if you guys knew about this, but so the story is that when she got married, she was no longer Britney. She's been replaced. She's AI, apparently. She's like some real deep fake shit going on with her. If you go to her Instagram, they're claiming that it's not really her, that it's a deep fake. Hi, Observing. How you doing? I left the link in the chat if you want to jump up and chat with me for a little bit. 9 people in the room. Hit the like. I really appreciate that. Just try to get the live stream out there. But so a friend of mine starts telling me, like, yeah, so on TikTok, which I never planned on downloading TikTok. I'm old school. I like Instagram, Pinterest. I spend a lot of time on YouTube. But I was like, TikTok, like, I don't do like the dancing thing. I was just like, I bet you there's conspiracy videos and stuff like that. Like, listen, this is weird how I fell into TikTok. So on Pinterest, I have all these boards. If you don't know what Pinterest is, it's an app and you save pictures and that's it. You know, for me, it's like fashion, hair, makeup, stuff like that, workouts. It's just, that's what I use Pinterest for. And then, well, I also like spiritual stuff like chakras and tarot cards and incense and herbs and shit like that. So my algorithm started picking up these like TikTok videos where it's like tarot readings. And I don't know, it was so strange because they were literally speaking to me personally in my situation. And I was freaking out because I was like, this is strange. I would go to the accounts that these videos were popping up from. And I was like, if they're saying the same thing over and over again, then it's just a coincidence, right? But no, there's like all these other messages. It could be about abundance, about, you know, like a new job offer, like all kinds of stuff. But the same message about like somebody in the past can't stop thinking about me and they're gonna come back. So I'm over here like, who is it? So anyways, so that was, and they're all TikTok videos. So that was already like in my head, you know, about TikTok. So then I go to work and I'm talking to my friend at work and he starts telling me about Britney Spears being AI. And he's like, yeah, on TikTok, like people have actually like broken it down. They slowed down her Instagram posts and it's not her. So I go and I look. So of course I look through YouTube, can't find any information, Instagram, like nothing. And that's where the videos are coming from. And I'm like, I'm gonna have to get freaking TikTok because I'm curious as hell to see the evidence. So I download TikTok, and for the past like 3 days after work, I've been spending a good like 2 hours just looking at conspiracy videos. I already trained the algorithm to send me nothing but conspiracy videos, and I'm hooked. But yeah, there's something to the Britney situation. I'll see if I could like get together something about it. If you haven't heard about it, I'll try to put together some information so we can look at it because it is freaking weird. Hey, thanks. I got these like 3 months ago, intending to go live, and I bought them and I saved up for them, bought them, and this is the first time I'm showing them off. So thanks for noticing. Hey, Paranormal Will, how you doing? Let me moderate you. Yeah, that's cool. All right, let's see. Said hi to Stacy, observing. You don't have TikTok? I heard that it's intentionally addicting. Now, the algorithm is just so good that it just has you on it, and I for one can attest to that because seriously, I've just been getting all kinds of videos about aliens and like Project Bluebeam, and then I on my own I'm like looking up this stuff. So it's really interesting. I've seen people post videos using TikTok clips, but I don't know how YouTube is with live streams showing TikTok clips. So I was kind of wanting to get something together. The only block I have is that sometimes they'll have songs in the background, and I know that's gonna get blocked or whatever from YouTube. So I don't know. I'll figure something out. But yeah, there's a lot of cool stuff on there. Let's see. Hey, thank you for the donation. I really appreciate it. That's really awesome. Thank you so much. All right, so if you guys are cool, nobody wants to jump up on the panel, we can go ahead and get started. Let me go ahead and go to the first story. So just give me one moment so that I can share the appropriate screen. Yeah, see, that's the thing. Oh yeah, I forgot I could show the, hey, what's up, Freedom's March? How you doing? So yeah, so that was another block I had with TikTok. Cause like that's for the kids, you know. It's always like these little dancey videos and stuff, and like, oh, someone went viral on TikTok, and it's, you know, somebody that I don't really like follow. But the second my coworker said that conspiracy videos were like happening on TikTok, I fucking went. Let me see the chat real quick. Live stream after 1K followers on TikTok. Okay, are you on TikTok? Paranormal Will, let me know. All right, so the first story we're going to talk about today is going to be the Lori Vallow case. I see a lot of people in the chat here that have been following this case back when Queen was covering it, and then I kind of picked up on it after that because I just couldn't stop thinking about these kids that went missing and then turned up, passed away. Let me know. I've been noticing a lot of people have been saying unalive instead of deceased or dead on YouTube. Is that like a thing? Did something happen? Did I miss something? Everyone's saying hi to each other. Cool. But yeah, so for those of you that are new to this channel or new to this story, or for anybody watching like after the fact, so Lori Vallow is a woman that had been married previously, and in this new marriage, she had two kids. One was adopted, one was hers. And in this marriage, she was stepping out with somebody that was also married. Now, both spouses in that situation turned up deceased. Then the kids went missing. Okay, the two spouses turned up deceased. The brother, who everyone thinks was the family hitman, died. Then the two kids went missing. Then the two adulterers, if you want to put it that way, run off to Hawaii while the kids are missing. Everyone's asking where they at. Even the judge ruled that they had a time limit to produce the children because everybody's so worried about where they're at. And they go off to freaking Hawaii, get married, have a honeymoon. There's pictures. A ring was bought. A cheap ring was bought. And then once they were being pressed about the kids, they were arrested. And then the kids turned up buried in the backyard. And now both individuals are arrested and they've gone to trial, or at least Lori Vallow has. And she did not only go to trial for the kids' murder, but also her husband. So that the whole thing has been just crazy. Here we have a timeline. It's 10 minutes and 48 seconds. I haven't seen it yet. Like I said earlier, I'm just kind of wing it this time around. So I'm kind of hoping it's valuable information. I'm guessing for 10 minutes and 48 seconds it is. So we'll go ahead and jump into it. Oh, wait, there's this other one. What do you guys think? There's one that's 21 minutes long and there's one that's 10 minutes long. And they're both from 3 months ago. What do y'all think? Do y'all have time? Yeah, I heard that too. And they will say a person deleted themselves. So is like YouTube like cracking down on this or something? Like what? Why does this happen? You can't say the K word. So folks just say unalive. Because I've seen that on TikTok where they kind of scratch out the K word and or they'll like bleep it out or whatever. So I don't know if it's getting people's videos taken down or what's going on. But I'm not really getting any feedback about which clip to show. So I'm going to go with the 20-minute one. I think this will be good information. It's from Fox 10 Phoenix. It's from 3 months ago. Let's check it out.
She's lost her mind. I don't have to say it.
Her name is Lori Vallow.
She talks about people having dark spirits that she can see, and
the so-called Doomsday Mom.
Sorry, real quick, let me know if the video's not loud enough or if I'm not loud enough because I can't tell from over here. So just let me know if everything is okay, if everything sounds evened out.
Where the kids are.
When the world wondered if her two missing children were safe,
why don't you give us answers?
That's great.
She and her new husband said nothing.
You see how enraging, or I mean, just listening to her talk like that pisses me off. Like even a reporter was going after them, trying to find out where these kids are at. He was trying to compel to some type of humanity in her. And he approached her and said, where are the kids? Are they okay? You know, where are they at? People are praying. Like, where are they? And she's just like, that's great. They're great. That's great. They're praying. I don't know how you could do that. Like, that was your own child, like the one that was her blood relative, and then they adopted a child, and he went missing. Like, seriously. All right, let's just keep watching.
And they actually look at law enforcement as maybe the instrumentality for their apocalyptic ending.
But investigators unearthed the truth. 3 years later, the accused Arizona mother will finally stand trial in Idaho. Murder, money, and the end of days. This is the Lori Vallow story. I'm Fox 10 investigator Justin Lum. Lori Vallow was known as an all-American mother and a devout Mormon. How did this persona transform into a triple murder defendant? Tomorrow, Lori's trial officially begins after multiple delays due to her mental competency. She's charged with killing her 2 kids, JJ Vallow and Tylee Ryan. She's also charged with conspiring with her husband, Chad Daybell, to murder her children, as well as conspiracy in the murder of Chad's first wife, Tammy Daybell. Both Lori and Chad were set to be tried together until a judge decided to split their cases. But the trail of death that follows Lori starts here in Arizona, where Lori's 4th husband, Charles Vallow, raised red flags, claiming his wife's religious beliefs evolved into something dangerous.
You thought it was possible that he was going to hurt you?
Absolutely, he was gonna hurt me and Tylee.
Okay.
Not JJ, he would never hurt JJ.
Okay.
And he hurt my brother. Like,
Yeah.
he was going like ballistic about.
I think okay, so here they're interviewing Lori Vallow about her husband, her actual husband. And I think at this point she's trying to, how do I say it, just kind of put it in people's heads that her brother and her husband were having an issue. I think in her head she already had talked to her brother Alex about taking out her husband. Why he was even going along with this shit was, I mean, we'll never know because he ended up passing away as well.
It was bad.
Lori and her brother Alex Cox tell Chandler detectives a story, a narrative of a fight turned deadly.
Okay. So you pulled him to the ground, you got back up.
I got back up. He hit me in the back of the head. I don't know if it was with the bat or not. I assumed it was.
Okay.
Because he had it.
A struggle involving a baseball bat ending with gunshots just hours earlier.
I got in a fight with my brother-in-law and I shot him in self-defense. Who else is there in the house? Just me.
He's right here in the living room. Firearm's gonna be in the front door, in the front bedroom, laying on the ground next to a case.
July 11th, 2019, just after 7:30 that morning, Charles Vallow arrived at the rental home where Lori was living with their adopted son JJ and Lori's daughter Tylee Ryan. 7-year-old JJ lived with autism, and 16-year-old Tylee was his big sister and protector. Charles came to take JJ to a school for special needs. For some reason, his brother-in-law Alex had stayed the night. Tylee later told police that an argument between her mom and Charles broke out, so she grabbed a bat and pointed at him.
I remember when he took the bat from me, I saw his face for like a split second, and I honestly, like, it didn't even look like him. He just looked like pure, like, rage.
Lori says Tylee went outside to check on JJ, who was in Charles's rental car.
You go back to your room.
Yeah.
Get the gun.
Yep.
Come back to the living room.
Yep.
Now, Tylee and Lori are gone.
Yep.
And
It's just me, Charles, and Leonard. And I told him, I said, Charles, put that bat down. He goes, what are you going to do about it?
So you heard the shot?
Mm-hmm.
Did you actually see the shot, or did you just hear it?
I had gone around to the kitchen to get away from him and so back around. So I don't know if he went in the house.
I didn't, so I'm a little bit of a disadvantage.
Yeah, so I didn't.
As the 62-year-old laid on the floor bleeding, his wife took off.
And then I came back around and I saw that he was on the ground.
Okay.
And was freaking out.
Yeah.
And so I was just freaking out and it just went into mama. I'm like, I've got to go to get JJ to school. I've got to get to the kids. I just felt like I got to get to the kids.
Driving Charles's car, Lori, Tylee, and JJ stop at Burger King before bringing the boy to school. An hour later, Lori and Tylee return home.
How long have you lived here?
Like 3 weeks.
Oh, geez. Yeah, okay.
That's why the neighbors don't know us.
Gotcha.
Like, hi neighbor, sorry.
At the
See, she's just way too cool about it. Like, her husband just got killed. I mean, unalived. Whatever. And she's just like, oh, sorry, neighbors. Like, I don't know. I guess there's some people that might be out there thinking, okay, maybe that's how you deal with trauma. You just kind of try to like nervously laugh. But now looking back at it, hindsight's 2020. She knew what was up. She was getting what she wanted. This was part of the master plan, which ultimately was the insurance money. Um, and she didn't get it. The husband, it turned out, I think he already had suspicions, so he took her off and added his sister. So she didn't even know that. She didn't find out until after she had to get denied. She actually tried to claim it and they denied her.
The scene. Lori never asked police about the well-being of her husband.
Charles was a semi-pro baseball player, and if someone got hit with a bat from Charles Vallow, they would not be walking out to the curb, showing a little, boo-boo on the back of their head.
Charles's ex-wife Cheryl Wheeler was with him for 13 years and is the mother of his 2 sons. In the days following the fatal shooting, Lori's texts to both of his boys don't reveal much. In fact, they couldn't even get their stepmom on the phone.
The fact that Lori wasn't communicating with my boys, she never picked up the phone. All of it was done through texting, that there was something else going on.
When Charles was alive several months earlier, he called Gilbert police about his wife's behavior.
She said, "You're not Charles. I don't know who you are, what you did with Charles, but I can murder you now with my powers."
But who would believe him?
If she's as rational as you say, I think maybe you should get your son out of the school and prevent that from happening.
She needs help.
She is crazy. So I don't know if they get into this here, but apparently the guy that she was stepping out on her husband with was a writer, and he had a podcast, and it was mainly like doomsday revelations, the 144,000, end of times, the apocalypse. Her reality were that some people didn't have souls, they were turning into zombies, and allegedly in her head that's what was going on, that all these people that were dying off were turning into zombies and she had to eradicate them.
Yeah, she needs some serious help. I want her to get help. I'm worried about her.
In the following weeks, Charles filed for divorce, saying Lori claimed to be a translated being, an exalted goddess preparing for the second coming of Christ. Charles wanted sole custody of JJ.
I think that Charles, having it on record, having police reports, having body cam footage, helped a lot to see how desperate he was for help.
About a month after Charles died, Lori's other brother, Adam Cox, spoke to Chandler police.
I felt bad for Charles. And so I said, Charles, I'll do what I can to help, but Lori won't talk to me because she thinks I think she's crazy.
Lori spent much of her time praying at the Mormon temple, but Adam learned she had taken interest in a certain genre of books.
About maybe a year or two ago, Lori started reading some books and near-death experience books and started saying some weird things. She, talks to Jesus in the temple, and she's married to Moroni.
Text messages obtained from Chandler's case file reveal Charles was someone else, a dark spirit named Ned or Nick Schneider. Investigators say she shared these beliefs with Chad Daybell, a fictional author in Idaho who thought of himself as a visionary after having a near-death experience. Chad and Lori first met in 2018 at a conference for doomsday preppers. According to the police report, they believed they had been married in a past life and were meant to be together, despite already being married to other people. 2 days after Charles was killed, police say Chad texted Lori this loving note. Detectives learned that Lori and Chad led a small group of like-minded people at the time, including a woman named Zulema Pastenes, someone Lori went to for spiritual guidance. Before Charles was killed, the two women referred to him as a new dark spirit named Iplos.
Okay, so for anybody that's maybe multitasking, because it's just like a bunch of pop-up sounds. So it's text messaging, and Lori says, yes, it does. Let's put some fire energy towards Hiplos now. That doesn't sound Christian at all, right? He is driving now, and today is the day. I can do it spiritually. Let's go to him and hover over the truck till we do it. Are you ready? And he says, I'm ready. He says, let's go now. And then they say that is powerful. I'm still sending fire. Like, that's their claim, is that they're hardcore Christians that believe that Jesus is coming back. Like, this is not how Christians talk. They would most likely say something about the blood of Christ. They'll probably say something in Jesus' name, that kind of thing. Like, this just doesn't go with their original narrative. It's very contradictory.
Police say for Lori and Chad to fulfill their religious prophecy, Charles needed to die. When he did, it was time to put a claim on a $1 million life insurance policy.
And what was the cause of his passing? Well, he was shot. Was it a homicide? No, it was an accident.
But the autopsy report ruled Charles's death a homicide. He was shot twice in the chest and stomach, and according to the medical examiner, the second bullet hit him while he was on his back.
They shot him. They killed him. And I don't know if it was for money or if they thought he was that evil spirit named Ned. And Lori can't deny any of that.
Months before Charles's death, he made a change to his life insurance policy, naming his sister Kay Woodcock as the beneficiary. With no payouts, Lori, her kids, and Uncle Alex said goodbye to Arizona.
So this says in June of 2021, a Maricopa County grand jury indicted Lori Vallow on one count of conspiracy to commit first-degree murder in the death of Charles Vallow.
Coming up, another shooting linked to Lori Vallow leads investigators up north. The summer of 2019 was over. Lori Vallow put the death of her estranged husband behind her and fled Arizona with her 2 kids. But now another Valley police agency would learn her name.
911, where's your emergency?
Someone just shot my window.
On an October morning in the town of Gilbert, Brandon Boudreau calls 911.
As I was trying to pull into my driveway, they just drove off. I saw them drive off.
Police respond to this quiet suburb to find Brandon's Tesla with a shattered driver's side window hit by one bullet.
They was very professional, whatever they're doing.
Do you have any enemies? Anybody that you...
Just went through a divorce.
A divorce from the mother of his 4 kids, but also Lori Vallow's niece, Melanie.
There's like some kind of a muzzle thing on it.
Mm-hmm.
And they just lifted up the back gate and shot.
In 2021, Gilbert PD determined there was probable cause to believe Lori, her then boyfriend Chad Daybell, and her late brother Alex Cox orchestrated Brandon's murder, despite failing. Fox 10 obtained photos of the recovered suspect vehicle, a Jeep Wrangler with Texas plates registered to Charles Vallow. But at the time of the shooting, Charles was already dead. Detectives believe Lori, Chad, and Alex had the windows tinted, removed the back seat and the back wheel so Alex could shoot from the Jeep's rear. Brandon had just moved to this home, claiming his ex-wife Melanie was one of the few who knew his address.
Yesterday, we responded to a call for service because somebody tried to shoot Brandon. Do you have any idea about this? Or anybody who would have any desire to do something like this?
The day after the shooting, as Melanie was speaking with the detective, GPD believes this is Alex and Lori on security footage carrying a Jeep wheel and back seat out of a storage unit in Rexburg, Idaho. When Melanie was asked about Lori and her kids,
Do you know where they're living now?
No, they've kind of mentioned that they just need fresh start and unsure what's going on in the family.
Yet Melanie would soon move to Rexburg right next door to her aunt. Police would begin to link Lori and Chad's spiritual beliefs as a motive for murder. GPD's report says the couple felt Brandon was possessed by a dark soul, and the idea spread within their inner circle.
Not only is it dark, he's actually, we found out more about him. So first he's this, now we know he's actually a high level. He's like up there with Hitler.
In October 2018,
Weird.
Melanie Gibb met Lori Vallow at the Church of Jesus Christ Latter-day Saints in Gilbert. They became best friends, recording podcasts about their faith. It was Melanie who introduced Lori to Chad at a conference called Preparing a People. It took less than a year for Lori to follow the author who wrote about fictional apocalyptic events.
Only one shot, right?
The misfire led to the discovery of another suspicious death.
I'm calling reference a death investigation that I have now determined happened in your jurisdiction. The decedent's going to be a Tamara Daybell.
Coming up, 2 dead spouses, 2 missing kids, and how investigators track down the so-called Doomsday Mom. Law enforcement in Arizona and Idaho now needed the FBI to get involved, but time was ticking as authorities learned Lori Vallow's 2 kids had vanished, and she wasn't going to be truthful. We want to warn you, some details are graphic. A mother of 5, a librarian with a kind heart, and Chad Daybell's college sweetheart, Tammy Daybell, died in her sleep on October 19, 2019. She was believed to be healthy.
The family said they don't want an autopsy, therefore the coroner just signed off then and there. And that's funeral home took Miss Daybell? Is that how that works?
Yes, that's pretty much how it works.
Gilbert Police Detective Ryan Pillar called Fremont County Dispatch in Idaho to learn more.
We just have some cases down here that got our attention with Miss Daybell.
He wanted to know who tried to kill Brandon Boudreaux earlier that month, and he knew about the alleged affair between Chad Daybell and Lori Vallow.
They were saying that Tammy was supposed to die on her trip to Utah.
Zulema Pastenes told detectives her good friends, Chad and Lori, believed in a grim vision.
And then when she didn't pass away, then they were saying was that she actually did pass away, but what happened was that she was taken over by an evil spirit, and then they were, that she had become a zombie.
Justifying death.
Did you see how the cops like shifted in their seats as soon as she started saying something about evil spirits?
Using religious beliefs was Chad and Lori's MO, according to investigators. Chad cashed in on Tammy's $400,000 life insurance policy and quickly married Lori less than 3 weeks later in Hawaii. But Lori's children, JJ Vallow and Tylee Ryan, were nowhere to be seen.
All right, so this text message says Tuesday, September 24, 2019. So JJ's grandparents came this weekend and they took him for a few weeks to give me a break. So he won't be back until probably the end of October. I wish I had other work for you to do. That's Lori Vallow.
Lori's text to JJ's nanny was simply not true. The boy's grandparents had not seen him for a while. 7-year-old JJ and 16-year-old Tylee had barely moved to Rexburg, Idaho from Arizona that fall. As for Big Sister, the last verified sighting of Tylee was with JJ, Lori, and her uncle Alex Cox at Yellowstone National Park on September 8th. And one of the last people to see JJ was Lori's best friend, who visited 2 weeks later. Melanie Gibb and her boyfriend planned to record a podcast with Lori on September 22nd.
She texts me and says
something to the effect of, I'll be there shortly.
I'll be there shortly.
JJ woke up and I'm trying to get him back to sleep.
And that was at night.
It was about 8:30 at night.
Well, okay, because we didn't podcast yet. It must have been at Alex's house getting him to sleep over there, I'm guessing.
In an email from a Chandler detective to the FBI, Nate Duncan said he was looking through Lori's iCloud records. Quote, in regards to the children, it appears Lori has 2 photographs on her phone of significance. Pictures of rifle ammunition from a store in Idaho. Possibly the last photo of JJ taken on September 22nd, seen here. By late November, Lori's story on her son's whereabouts changed again when Rexburg police arrived for a welfare check.
He's with one of my friends in Arizona.
It just was kind of weird.
It is very weird. I've had to move around a lot.
She said JJ was with Melanie, which was not true. Lori and Chad then bolted out of Rexburg, nowhere to be found. Alex moved in with Zulema back in Gilbert after they got married. Authorities exhumed Tammy's body on December 11th, 2019. Zulema confronted Alex.
But if they exhumed this body and they're gonna find anything, did you have anything to do with this? And he said no.
Investigators believe Alex tried to shoot Tammy 10 days before she died, but failed. He told his wife he might be getting framed.
What is it? Tell me. What is it that they're trying to pin on you? What did they do?
Alex died of natural causes the next day, according to the medical examiner.
There's people around the country praying for your children, praying for you guys. Why don't you give us answers?
That's great.
Just weeks before the COVID-19 pandemic began, police arrested Lori in Kauai on charges of child abandonment and she was brought back to Idaho. The search for JJ and Tylee continued until it ended in Chad's backyard on a summer day. As Lori spoke to Chad from jail, investigators discovered 2 sets of human remains, later identified as JJ and Tylee. Court documents reveal on September 9th and 23rd of 2019, Alex Cox's cell phone pinged at the spots where the children would be found. Police say Lori believed they had become zombies. What was left of Tylee's remains? Charred bones and tissue. JJ's body wrapped in tight plastic and duct tape.
His hands were folded about chest high. He had duct tape continuously wrapped from elbow all the way around his arms.
It took nearly a year for Chad and Lori to be indicted on murder charges in connection to the deaths of JJ, Tylee, and Tammy.
The thousands of hours that have been invested into seeking the truth for these innocent victims must be recognized.
And still, the wheels of justice turn slowly. Coming up, JJ Vallow's grandparents have waited 3 years for this trial. Hear what they have to say. Kay and Larry Woodcock sounded the alarm to authorities when they couldn't get a hold of Lori Vallow and had not seen their autistic grandson JJ for months. After so much tragedy, their real fight for justice finally begins.
It's been a long, arduous process.
She is starting to get her dues.
We're on the eve of the trial now.
It has been 3 years since we witnessed Lori Vallow extradited from Hawaii to Idaho, initially on charges of child abandonment. Just tell me, how much patience have you learned from this long wait?
More than I've ever used in my entire life. It's been a long, arduous process, and we're on the eve of the trial now, and it's surreal.
What was your reaction to the judge deciding to separate Chad and Lori and have 2 separate trials? Was it the right choice?
You know, I think it makes no difference. I think the evidence is there. I've said that from the get-go, and I truly believe it's really not going to be that big of an issue. Personally, I would like to have seen both of them in court together.
Vallow's defense has filed a notice of alibi saying that when her children died in her brother's apartment, she was with 2 friends and with Chad Daybell in her own apartment. Looking at that, knowing that, are you surprised that she's basically implicating her brother Alex in the responsibility to all this?
Alex has been their patsy since when they were planning it. We knew when Charles was murdered that Alex was it and that Lori was using him, and so the rest of it went on down to when Brandon was shot at, and when someone tried to shoot Tammy 10 days before she died. That was Alex.
Through every hearing, we've seen Lori appear. You know, she has the hair and the makeup done, and she smiles from time to time. Does this feel like a slap in the face every time you see her express herself this way?
No. And I'm going to tell you the reason why I have to use right now. I got to sit 6 foot behind her in that courthouse, and I can tell you right now, those.
Okay, I didn't want to stop it there, but you saw that despicable look on her face, right? She's literally like walking by all the family members that were missing the kids, worried about them, losing sleep, finding out that they were passed away, and all the evidence is pointing to her, and she's still, and this is what's crazy. Like, I always say this, I want to say that she's crazy, but I also don't want to do her any favors, because she did try like an insanity type of plea at the beginning. It just didn't stick. But she's just calculating and evil, and she knew what she was doing. She planned shit out. She went through with it, got caught, and she still doesn't seem to show any remorse for anything that happened. All this due to her just wanting to be with somebody else, and most likely the kids are in the way, and this is gonna, you know, she was hoping to get some type of monetary advantage, and it just thankfully didn't. work in her favor.
Fit
At least
6
that.
foot behind her in that courthouse. And I can tell you right now, those leg bracelets that she had on and those handcuffs, that hair that looked like it was combed with a combine is where it's starting to wear on her. And as far as I'm concerned, she is starting to get her dues.
What is your final message to her as trial gets underway?
We have so much faith that she's going to be sentenced to the maximum.
They killed two most precious things in the world. Her flesh and blood, her daughter, was murdered in the most gruesome fashion that can be.
Heinous.
It's heinous. It's beyond heinous. And JJ, my God, the most innocent child there was out there.
That's all for us. The Lori Vallow trial begins tomorrow at 8 a.m. Arizona time. Stay with us for full coverage. And for all of our reports on the case, just scan the QR code on your screen, and we'll see you from the Ada County Courthouse in Idaho. I'm just...
All right, we'll stop there. So right off the bat, I noticed that at the time, they didn't know the cause of death. So I'm just going to look that up real quick just so that we can have that information. Okay. A lot of keyboard, right? It was asphyxiation. Let me see. Homicide by unspecified means. Okay, so now what we're gonna do real quick is look up the latest information that there is. So I know Lori Vallow's gone to court. She was convicted. She was guilty, and then Chad Daybell's day in court is yet to happen. So just give me one moment while I look up the court information. Okay. I am gonna look into having some type of like music or something in the background just so that it's not so quiet. Because I do kind of like, you know, doing the research as I go. But then again, I don't know. I also like being prepared. Let's see. Or I could just look up the information and fuck it. It's just taking too long. All right, so observing. No, he actually donated to me, which is really, really sweet. But he's unable to chat with us. So I don't know if he's like keeping an eye on the chat. I just wanted him to know that I was very grateful for that. Sorry to cause some confusion. My bad. Daybell. Let's do sentencing because I know she's guilty. All right. So, so sentencing has not happened. The date set for sentencing is going to be, let me see. It was July 31st. So we're waiting on that. All right. Fair enough. All right. So let's look at the chat. Want to say hi to each other. Cool. All right. So now the next story that we're going to look at is going to be Maya Millete. Maya was from the San Diego, California area. She went missing. Her husband is prime suspect. His family claims that Maya ran away from home and just didn't want to be a mom anymore. And that's what happened there, according to them. But she's been missing, and it's just her family is very worried for her. The kids might have actually seen something, but since they're minors, I guess they're not talking to them. I'm not too sure what's happening there too. I'll have to look that up. So just give me one moment while I set up the next screen I'm sharing. All right, well, I think I can just do that. Cool. So first we'll do a timeline. And then obviously go to the newest one, find a news channel that covered it. These are all fairly short. I'm not too sure if we'll get enough information like that. They're like 2 minutes long. Okay, so real quick, there was an audio that was recorded from neighbor surveillance. People believe that this was when Larry killed Maya. Let me know what you think. So you hear dogs. I'm afraid to talk because I'll probably talk right over the evidence. So you hear like dogs, kids. I'm hearing some kind of whimpering maybe. Isn't it crazy how somebody's surveillance audio can like record the happenings of inside your house from like across the street? Think about that. I don't know if that's like some arguing. Okay, so I didn't hear the 8 bangs, but it said there. I don't know what that was about. Okay, so let's just go ahead and find a timeline video, and then we'll look up the update. Just give me 1 minute.
One mind and one spirit.
Within days of Maya Millete going missing on January 7th, 2021, her family was organizing search efforts and holding vigils. Her Jeep was left parked at the home she shared with her husband and 3 kids near San Miguel Mountain in Chula Vista.
She's always on her phone, but her phone was been off like the whole day Friday.
The family soon discovered Maya had contacted a divorce attorney the same day she went missing. That night, a surveillance camera recorded loud bangs in the neighborhood, sounding like gunshots. The day after that, Larry drove away with his 4-year-old son in a Lexus SUV. He was gone for 12 hours, and Larry's cell phone was turned off all day, according to police. Larry Millete was noticeably absent from the ensuing search efforts for his wife. In a phone interview with CBS 8 1 week after Maya went missing, he said he loved her.
Oh, I love everything about her. She's very smart, kind, basically just herself, her personality, just everything.
Over the next few months, police served 3 search warrants on the Millete house, taking Larry's cell phone and seizing his entire collection of firearms. Police say they found evidence that Larry had been hiring online spellcasters, asking if they could make his wife break a bone or have an accident. Officers then made their move, arresting Larry Millete on October 19, 2021, 9 months after Maya went missing.
There has been no record of any violence whatsoever in his entire life.
At a hearing in November of last year, a judge ordered Millete held without bail. His attorney argued there was no evidence that Maya was dead.
She left on her own volition. A husband has not hurt her, not even once, even though she was unfaithful.
I haven't seen any evidence of her being unfaithful. People can say a lot of shit when you're not around to defend yourself, so I would take that information with a grain of salt. But either way, that doesn't give somebody permission to take somebody's life away. So let's just real quick look for an update so we can catch up. I don't think that Larry has officially had trial yet, but we'll find out right now. Hi to everyone in the chat. Hey, Preach, let me know if you want to jump up on the panel. I'll be up here probably like another 20 minutes or so. Oh, yeah, so then the children, too. Now there's going to be custody hearings because Maya's side of the family wants custody. And personally, I think they should go with them. I don't trust Larry or his family at this point. And another thing is, I think the kids saw something, and that's probably a big reason why, most likely, why Larry's family is trying to keep them away from Maya's family. Let's see. So Larry Millete was denied motion to speak with kids from jail, so they haven't spoken to him. Their house is closing to a foreclosure. Let's see. So I guess he has not gone to court yet. I don't know if there's a date. I could find out. Trial date. So that's going to be September 14, 2023. I probably won't show the whole thing just because of like time issues. It's not like before where I had all this time in the world and I could sit through like a 2-week trial, 8 hours a day. No problem. That was a lot of fun, but at this time I can't really do that. So I'll probably just pull up for some updates and things like that. So let's go ahead and move along to Tristyn Bailey. Now she was a cheerleader. She's a high school cheerleader that was murdered by one of her friends. His mom tried to cover up the situation. He had some jeans that had blood on them. There was footage of the parents talking to, what was this kid's name? Aiden, and they were asking him, like, so where are your pants? Like, you were wearing khakis, right? Not denim. And they were totally, like, trying to help him, like, get out of it. They knew what he did. And they just were trying to cover up the evidence. And the mom is also being charged, like, with something. So it looks like he's going to get life in prison, as he should. He stabbed her something like 80-something times. They still can't figure out what his motive was for that. You need to hear how many times she was stabbed. This is ridiculous. 114 times. That's crazy. All right, so let's see. Who else was I covering before? We got Lori Vallow, Maya Millete, Tristyn. Are there any stories you guys want me to look up? I know a lot of stuff's happened, so at this point, I'm down to just talk about whatever. Just let me know in the chat while I look up some things I could do here, because I have not looked at... Okay, so you can do some background music with StreamYards. They have some like preset music on here, but you can also get your own music and put it there. If you're a content creator and you're just kind of wondering about like free music, I don't know if you knew this, but if you look at your YouTube studio from a PC, you have the option to download free music, and you can bring that over to StreamYards and have some background music. So what did you all think about the submersible? I know that's like old news already, but we were talking about it at work. Like, what the fuck? All right, so let's just go to me real quick. So if nobody has any ideas of anything that we could talk to, I could probably just wrap it up. Just let me know in the chat. Next time I'm thinking I'll have something ready to go. This was fun. researching on the fly was different, but I think I like knowing where I'm going and what I'm going to talk about. So I'll try to have something a little bit more prepared for you all next time. And I am definitely going to attempt to go live more often. This is a lot of fun. I miss all of you guys. It's just been rough, just working a lot and having to make ends meet and stuff like that. I live alone, so I got to like do all this stuff by myself, and I got zero help from anybody. So that all takes time, energy, and it just makes it so that like setting up a live stream, doing the research. There's all this other stuff that I want to do for my channel. I want to get new like graphics and just take pictures and stuff or thumbnails and things like that. And I have everything I need. Like I did get stuff to make things look better. I have a ring light now, the headset. I have a second monitor, so that's cool. It's just stuff that you can't tell on your side. It's just like over here on me to make things go a little bit smoother. But yeah, I'm going to do more research on these cases. If you guys ever want to talk about anything, don't forget I'm on Instagram as well. Keep an eye out for my community tab. Every once in a while, I'll post something. But other than that, unless somebody wants to jump up on the panel or has a suggestion for a story or something like that I can look up, I'll probably go ahead and wrap it up for now. I've been live for a little bit, so I feel like that's fair enough. So let me go ahead and share a different screen. Shout out to everybody in the chat. Thank you so much for being here. Anybody that pulls up for a rewatch, thank you so much. Don't forget to hit the like. And I'll see you guys all soon, okay? Let me just go ahead and just wrap it up. Just give me one moment. Cool beans.